Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Today I'm so excited to have you all join me to make some very delicious Ghana tea bread. So come with me and let's do this. So I've already measured out my flour and I'm going to pour that into a bigger bowl, and to that I'll be adding some granulated sugar. I'll also be adding some salt. And for this recipe I'm using instant yeast, and I'll also grate in some nutmeg, add some powdered milk and give that a mix. Okay, so I'm going to melt some butter before I continue with the bread preparation. Now that I have all the dry ingredients well mixed together, I'm going to go ahead and add some water in there. And to that I'll add my melted butter, which has cooled down to some extent at this point. I'll also add 1 large egg, some vanilla extract, and give that a mix again. Right, I'll go in with some more water, but guys, I have all the measurements in the description box, so you get to know every ingredient and even the amount of water I use to get a perfect consistency for my bread. At this point, you need to get yourself a clean surface, and that is where you are going to be able to knead your bread very well. I also have some flour on the side which I keep adding whilst I'm kneading, because that's going to help prevent the bread from sticking and to help you get that perfect consistency. At this point, I've been kneading for about 10 minutes and my bread is ready to go on and rise for the next hour. But please be sure to oil the surface of the bowl you'll be proofing the bread in so that it doesn't stick to it. In 50 minutes, my bread had proofed quite well, so I just deflate that, transfer it onto my surface and try to get some more air out of there. And then I'm going to cut that into portions and we'll go ahead and mold those. Tea bread requires the use of flour for preventing the bread from sticking onto the baking trays instead of our traditional oil or butter. So make sure you have enough flour spread into your baking trays or bread cans. So one by one, I'm going to mold my bread into the perfect tea bread shape, and this is how I do it. So I'm just going to tuck them in and I'll use my hands to spread it out, because it usually looks longer and slender than our sugar bread and butter bread and whatnot. And because tea bread usually has a lot of flour on it, don't be afraid to go in with some flour onto the surface you are molding the bread on, just to help prevent it from sticking. At this point, I've had all my bread molded, and now I'm going to make sure I coat each and every loaf I have here with enough flour, because that is how tea bread has to be. Now I have all my loaves nicely arranged, and I'm going to proof them for the second time, and this time it took me 25 minutes to get them to look like this. And see how nicely they've risen. Now we are moving on to the next best thing. We are going to bake these up and they'll be ready to eat in just about 25 to 30 minutes. And I baked these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. And this right here is the most delicious tea bread I have ever tasted. Well, besides my mom's bread, because my mom is a baker. But you should definitely give this recipe a try. You will keep going back to it, I promise you. You know what time it is? It is hot Milo with tea bread time. So I'm gonna go enjoy my hot Milo with delicious tea bread. And I hope you all give this recipe a try, and I hope you like it. Thank you all for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.